Friendships usually don't end with shouting or slammed doors. Most of the time, they end quietly, with assumptions, half-truths, and silence. That was how it ended for Nika and Amaka.
Nika and Amaka met in their mid-20s, fresh out of university, navigating Lagos life with shared ambition and exhaustion. They were different but compatible. Amaka was bold, stylish, and magnetic, the kind of woman who walked into a room and owned it without trying. Nika was quieter, thoughtful, observant. She spoke less, but when she did, people listened. They became close quickly. Weekend brunches, late-night phone calls, shared career frustrations, and whispered dreams about the future. They called each other family, and for a while, it felt true.
Fola came into their lives through work. A creative consultant, music on the side, smooth talker, charming in the way that felt effortless. He knew how to listen and, more importantly, how to make people feel chosen. He and Nika worked on a few projects together. Long hours, shared ideas, mutual respect. Nothing romantic. No dates, no flirting, no lines crossed. But Fola liked attention. And somewhere along the way, he started telling people that Nika was his girl. Not directly, not officially, just enough to plant the idea.
Nika didn't know. Not at first. She found out the way most people do, through awkward comments, side glances, and questions that didn't make sense. So, you and Fola are together now? She laughed it off. We're just colleagues, friends. But lies don't need permission to grow. Eventually, it reached Amaka. And by then, it didn't sound like a rumor. It sounded like betrayal.
Amaka didn't ask gently. She didn't come curious. She came hurt and defensive. "So this is who you are?" she said one evening, voice tight. "Smiling in my face while sleeping with someone you knew I was interested in?" Nika was stunned. "I've never dated him," she said calmly. "We're just friends." But Amaka had already decided what the truth was. And once pride gets involved, facts lose their power.
What hurt Nika the most wasn't Amaka's anger. It was Fola's silence. He knew the truth. He had created the lie. And yet, he said nothing. He watched as assumptions destroyed a friendship and chose comfort over accountability. Nika was quietly pushed out. Group chats went silent. Invitations stopped coming. Her name became something people discussed, not someone they spoke to. And still, she said nothing publicly. Because sometimes adults don't scream. They just withdraw. The breaking point came not in anger, but in clarity. Nika realized something important. Silence wasn't protecting her dignity. It was costing her peace. She didn't expose anyone dramatically. She didn't post emotional threads. She simply told the truth, clearly, calmly, and without apology, to the people who mattered. And for the first time, she stopped trying to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding her. The truth had weight. Once it surfaced, things shifted. Questions were asked. Stories didn't align. Fola was forced to admit what he had done, how he enjoyed the attention, how he let a lie grow because correcting it would have cost him comfort. He apologized. Not loudly, not publicly, but sincerely. Amaka didn't rush forgiveness. She sat with the reality that Cain had turned her into someone she didn't recognize. Months later, things were different. Nika wasn't the same woman who tried to keep everyone happy. She chose boundaries over belonging. She declined invitations that felt forced. She kept her circle smaller and honest. Amaka changed too. Quieter, more reflective, less defensive. They weren't close anymore, but they weren't enemies. Just two adults who learned that not every relationship is meant to survive the truth. And Fola? He learned that silence can be just as harmful as lies, and that accountability is not optional in adulthood. Sometimes it's not about choosing sides, it's about choosing yourself.
In adult friendships, betrayal doesn't always come from what people do. It often comes from what they refuse to correct. Loyalty without honesty is dangerous. Silence can destroy trust. And forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation.